Well, Morales from Black Film TV. Obviously, with this film, what were your requirements in terms of your casting? Did they have to be 6 feet? Did they have to have a certain look?
Well, I feel like when it came to height, it was the first time I even cared about the actor's height. Like, for example, Harry's character has to be around 6 feet tall. So I feel like I think about that sometimes, but I feel like the most important thing was that I fell in love with them and as the characters that I wrote on the script. So much of it has to do with the inspiration I felt when I was sort of talking to them. And I think that I just felt so connected to them when I met them as these characters that I had already imagined on the script. And I think that, I mean, if you asked me what my non-negotiable was for the actors, I would say that they care very, very much. And they're showing up every day, ready to kill it.
How much research did you do into this field? Because I'm sure there are people who do this.
Yeah.
And they're going to say they got it right, they got it wrong, they added a little bit too much, they took some liberties.
Oh yeah, well, I worked as a matchmaker for 6 months.
Okay.
And I think that that was really the inspiration that really started this whole idea for the film. So I think that when it comes to the research of it, like I wasn't really, being tied down to like exactly the way that like different businesses work, because each business works very differently, as you can imagine, because they also target different income level. So I think that what I really cared about more than anything is the very specific way and the very detailed way that this particular matchmaking company that I created with, I knew the names of the departments. Like I had, me and my production designer, Tony Gasparo, and like my costume designer, Katina Benabasis, we were like just talking about what every single department at this matchmaking office would be like. So it's more like it just had to have an internal logic for how this matchmaking office works.
And then there's like the unofficial character, which is shooting around New York City.
Yeah.
You see the buildings on different sides. You see the places that Harry's taking her out to. How was that like in terms of your script supervisor and your location scout manager as far as where are we going to shoot at that makes it feel real?
Well, I think that it always has to be, again, something that feels real to me. And thankfully, because I'm a New Yorker, I've lived in New York for 14 years. So as a result of that, I think that I know what feels right to me, So some of this authenticity is just coming from my lifetime of like love story with New York City itself. So, and also it's the way that I want to shoot it too. Like I think that some of it has to do with like the way I'm shooting it, the way that I feel love for New York City. Because for a New Yorker, Times Square is not necessarily the place where you it's an amazing place for tourists, and I feel like as a tourist, I really love Times Square. But the truth is that it's that funny corner in New York City. That's always going to be the thing that you fall in love with.
What did you learn from past lives heading into production for this one that helped you out? Like, when you shot Past Lives, you got a lot of glory out of it, but then I'm sure you saw like, next time I'll do this, next time I won't do that. So coming into this movie, is there anything that you learned new, or did you decided to scale back from?
Well, I think that, I learned everything, because the truth is that like I had not made a movie when I was making Past Lives. So I was kind of walking into it just not knowing anything and learning everything on the job. But so in Materialists, I got to make it while knowing how a movie gets made. So I knew every department, I knew everything. So I think that really was the whole thing. And I think that because I knew everything, in some ways I could be more ambitious about what I wanted to shoot. So in a way, it just only made me feel braver, because there was less unknowns because I knew how to make a movie. Yeah.
What made Dakota the right choice so that we, the audience, can buy into her at the end of the day, at the end of the movie that says, okay, I like the choices she made?
Yeah, well, I think that to me, the Dakota is somebody who has all the qualities that I'm looking for in a Lucy. When I was talking to Dakota, I think that, and we were just meeting as just like a general meeting. We were just meeting just to talk about like each other, and I was just a big fan of her work, so we're just chatting. And then at some point I was just looking at her and I just thought in my head like, oh, I think this is Lucy, this is my Lucy. And when we finished that lunch, I texted my studio and producers being like, I think I found my Lucy, And I think that the quality that she has is this amazing, beautiful veneer, this kind of like this beautiful shell that if you just push, right? This kind of almost like an icy, very like alpha, beautiful like shell. And then when you push through it, you see just like a whole flood, like an ocean of vulnerability in there. And I think that to me, that beautiful thing, I think that just made me fall in love with her as Lucy, because that's what I was looking for. I wanted somebody who was able to be so professional, so together for her clients, so there, and so like, oh yeah, nothing could faze me, but to learn that so easily, you can crack that shell, and her whole life, it's gonna be just like filled with care and warmth and total beauty too. Because the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean, Lucy cares so much. You know, she cares so much about her clients.
Congrats on this film. I
Thank
think
you so
people will
much.
get something out of it that they can relate to, and we look forward to see what you do next after this.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank